Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today's little video is in response to a poll that I put up on YouTube the other day asking which topics you'd like to see covered in future tuition videos, and by quite a margin the most popular option there was lead guitar for beginners. And when I say beginners, I mean beginners to lead guitar, not beginners to the guitar as a whole. You know what I'm talking about. And so yeah, that's what we're doing today. What I've done is put together 10 of what I think are the most commonly used guitar licks across all genres of electric guitar playing. Frankly, you're as likely to come across some of these licks in a Chuck Berry tune as you are to come across them in a Metallica tune. In fact, one of them is in a Metallica tune and in several Chuck Berry solos. See if you can spot which one I'm talking about as we go through them. All of the examples in this video today are all using the C major, A minor pentatonic scale, so they're going to work equally well in a C major situation or an A minor situation. And then if you want to play them in, I don't know, D major, all you got to do is a little bit of transposing. For instance, there's a C major chord, and if you move it up 2 frets it becomes a D major chord. So move any of these licks up 2 frets and they will instantly be D major licks rather than C major licks. If you want to use them in D minor, for example, well, all you got to do is you think, well, okay, they're, as well as being C major, they are A minor licks. There's an A minor chord. Move it up 5 frets, it becomes a D minor chord. So move these licks up 5 frets and they will become D minor licks. I'm sure you get the idea. Right, I'm not going to give you too much chapter and verse on each of these licks. I'm going to give you a brief description of what's happening with them, and then we'll take a look at them. And the first one, the important technique that's going on here with this one is the idea of doing a string bend, then releasing the string bend to its original pitch and doing a pull off. Like that. And anywhere you can do a string bend in any scale, including the pentatonic scale, obviously you can apply that technique. Here's the lick in context. Okay, so lick number 2, the basic underpinning of this is the idea of doing a string bend and then grabbing a note on the next string up. There are 2 or 3 examples of this in these licks that we're going to be going through, but here's the one that we're going to be looking at now. Okay, lick number 3. What's going on here then? Well, it's just basically a repetitive little thing. Many of these licks can be used as repeating licks, which are a great asset to have, because what you can do is just kind of park your fingers in that cycling repetitive lick while you're thinking about what you're going to play next. Okay, this one uses a hammer-on, and again, this is one that you can apply in pretty much anywhere in any scale. Hammer-on from one note to another note, and then hit the note on the next string. And as I say, it's something that you can move around anywhere in a scale pattern that you're familiar with. Here's the lick. Now, lick number 4. This is another one of those where you're doing a bend on one string and then grabbing a note on the next string. And what's different about this one, potentially, is that the note that you're grabbing on the next string is the note that you've bent up to on the string beneath it. So you're kind of doing a unison bend. That's what this is called. So there's a string bend, which is kind of taking me to that note. Then I play the same note on the next string. Here's the lick. And lick number 5, what's this one all about then? Well, this is just basically using a double stop. A double stop is where you play 2 notes together, and what you can do with these is kind of slide into them from below or above if the mood takes you, but I'm doing it from below in this lick. Here's what it sounds like. Moving on to lick number 6. What's going on here then? Well, let me have a look. Oh yes, this is another one of these kind of bendy licks where you grab notes on other strings. And what sets this one apart is the fact that we're not just grabbing 1 note, we're grabbing 2 notes. So I'm basically doing the bend here, and then I'm grabbing the note on that string and that string there. And again, this is a good one to use as a kind of cycling repetitive lick. Here's what it sounds like over a jam track. And moving on to number 7. What we're going to be doing here is playing some more double stops, but we're combining that hammer-on technique that we saw earlier. This is a technique that is a little bit reminiscent, if you're familiar with a song called The Weight by The Band, or where else would you hear something similar? Maybe the beginning of Shooting Star by Bad Company. A similar lick like that is on the beginning of that song. Anyway, here's what it sounds like and how to play it. Moving on to lick number 8. What we're doing here is what's called cycling a scale. Okay, and the basic gist of that is if I just kind of take a scale like this and come down 3 notes from the top note, and then go to the next note down and come down 3 notes from that, and then go to the next note down, and so on. Like that, or you can go up it like that. It's essentially little more than a picking exercise, but you know, it sounds cool, so why not make a lick out of it? And this is the one that I made out of it. Okay, the penultimate lick, number 9. This is one that I think I first nicked it off a David Gilmour solo. It's basically just a little pull-off arpeggio lick. What we're going to be doing is pulling off from the 8th fret to the 5th fret on the 1st string and going to the 5th fret on the 2nd. The only real way that this can go wrong is if you kind of get the 1st finger somehow wrong. I do see a lot of people trying to do those 2 notes with 2 separate fingers, and they're trying to do it like that, and it's just unnecessarily awkward. So here's how to play it and what it sounds like. And finally we move on to lick number 10. This one is perhaps the trickiest of all of them, because it involves a string bend that you've got to bend up to pitch before picking it. It's a pre-bend, in other words, and you get these a lot in many guitar solos. Basically, as I say, all of these licks will be found across pretty much every genre of electric guitar playing. Basically, you can bend the note up and then pick it as many times as you want before letting it down. So you could have that, or you could have, or another variation is you could gradually let it down as you're picking it. Like that. And of course, anytime you're doing that kind of release to original pitch, you can go back to the first lick in the video and do the pull-off as well. like that, and combine the ideas and come up with licks of your own. Anyway, here's what that lick sounds like over the jam track. So there you go, and it should come as no surprise that you can download that very jam track from the description box below. So yeah, have a go yourself. If this has whetted your appetite for some more information on lead guitar for novices, then keep your eyes peeled on my website, specifically that page of it there, the lessons page, because I'm currently in the process of putting together a bit of a course for lead guitar novices, where I can go into a bit more detail and depth than the constraints of a YouTube video would allow. If you're after something a little bit more adventurous, then there already is a course up there called Making the Modes Easy, which basically does exactly what it says on the tin. If you are at all interested in taking the next step beyond what we've been looking at here and learning to play a bit more melodically, you know, getting into more of the sort of Mark Knopfler, Gary Moore, Joe Bonamassa, any of the more melodic rock or blues guys, then that would be a good course to check out. And again, it's available from that URL there, which is obviously in the description box below as a link for you to click on as well, so why not check it out. If you would prefer, on the other hand, some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition, then you can get in touch with me via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson. Or wherever else you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype. And whichever way you do it, your first lesson is, of course, free. So what have you got to lose? And with that, I'll bid you all a good day. If you've enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button, and why not subscribe as well and hit the notification bell so that you'll get notified when I put a new video up. And yeah, so thanks for watching, chaps, and please have a great day for what's left of it, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.